So before I actually get into the footage of myself doing the recipes, I thought it might be a good idea to just put up a little warning here in case someone else was crazy enough to try to do this along with me or whatever. Just a couple of ingredients that actually gave me problems here, and I actually ended up running out of them because I didn't collect them. Some of them you guys actually tried to warn me about, Goron Spice being one of those. You actually need 19 of that in all if you're going to make everything on here. The Hateno shop is another place I went to pretty regularly because they got everything you need there. They got fresh milk, which is, you need 22 of that in total. They got goat butter, which you need 35 of that. And they got Hateno cheese, which you need 11 of that. And then they have Hylian rice, which you need 39 of. You need 8 tomatoes, but you're probably going to have that. You can buy the fortified pumpkins here too. You only need 3 of those, but just in case, you know. And you can only buy 3 milk at a time, which is really bad. But if you do that little trick where you warp to the Gerudo Tower and just sleep by the fire until night, or sleep till morning actually, and then go back, it should have restocked by then. Now I guess if you have a bunch of leftover acorns, you could take them over to the farmer guy and trade them into him. Oh my gosh, this guy's got the recipe for the pizza on his wall. One big problem I ran into was the, what is it called? The raw whole bird? Yeah, that thing. Okay. So the best way to get those, from what I've seen, is to grind them off of white pigeons up here by the Pilka Stoneview Tower, or Pilka Strone Grove, whatever it's called. But yeah, they seem to have the best chance to drop them, and you can also save scum it, so I'm going to show this footage right up here. It's played at like 6 times speed of me actually save scumming. It took me, I think, 12 tries to get this, but I did actually get it, so let me see, what else was there? Tabantha wheat was also a big one. You need 30 of that in all. What I ended up doing, I'm pretty sure I had to do this in the first game too, and for the life of me, I can't remember why I would have done it. But you can actually get it out of the grass just south of, southeast of Rito Village. Again, I have a little bit of fast-forwarded footage here or whatever to show myself getting those. Everything else is pretty basic, like stuff you're just going to come across anyway, or stuff you're going to have a bunch of left over. You need 5 monster extract, but you can buy that in Terrytown, so that's pretty good. You need 6 Clark dumps. Oh, the one other thing was coarser bee honey, which that I just had to put on my sensor. There's a bunch of it out at Rutile Lake over west of Satori Mountain, but there's also some around the East Hill by Kakariko Village, by that chasm. There's a bunch over there too. There's cane sugar. You need 15 of that. They sell it in Rito Village, so that's easy enough to get. So I think we're just going to go ahead and jump into the recipes here. As you can tell by the title, this is my senior year journals here. I don't know how this is going to go, but I guess we'll find out. Alright, I guess here goes nothing. 1994 Diaries, January 3rd, 1994. I feel ready for the Algebra 2 tournament. The vacation was pretty good, but it would take forever to explain it. Last night we stayed home from bowling, but Christopher gave the Game Genie to Mom, so I got it at home. But I think Steve stayed home from work today. It's for that very reason that I couldn't set the VCR to record Sale of the Century. How many 80s, 90s references were there just in that paragraph? I'm excited to get to the Algebra 2 in case I might get to show off. Jamie Sorrow is as cute as ever today. I'm almost afraid to see her picture this year in the yearbook because I like the pictures I have. We got the pictures back that we took in Kentucky. I wasn't even smiling in the one of all of us. The picture of that tree down in the ditch doesn't look as deep as I remember. There were only 2 funny ones, the one Steve took of Grandma's butt with pizza on it, and the one of me looking surprisedly from one of the inside windows. January 5th, 1994, yesterday in Algebra 2, we were talking about how just about everybody knows the squares up to 12 or so. Then she demonstrated how people don't know the cubes as well, so we started, and I went up to 7 cubed before she stopped asking me. I could have gone all the way to 11. Well, I'm so excited about the math tournament, I can't stop writing about it. I just keep praying that Jamie will come with us because I do love her, and I want to be with her somewhere besides school. Yesterday I stared at her while she was talking to Miss Haugen, then suddenly she looked at me, not suspiciously. My blood rushed to my head so fast it's a wonder my head didn't fly off right off and splatter the ceiling in a burst of red. Yep. Please tell me he talks about something else besides that here. January 10th, 1994. It was a great weekend, but of course, by the luck of the draw, we're paying for it by spending a 4-day weekend with Dad like last year. Boy, I dread it. The math tournament wasn't at GACS like last time, but the one they do have at GACS will come up in March. Mary got real sick, so she's been home today. I brought her stereo down and worked on my movie. Then she fell asleep, so I started playing Final Fantasy II trying to sneak with Edge a pink tail out of the jellies in the watery pass. I didn't get a tail, but I got about 200 or 300 cure potions. Well, Ashley will be coming with us to Darlene's house this weekend, so it'll be absolute heaven this weekend to get away from Steve's hellish presence. Now that's some strong but appropriate language right there. Yesterday, for example, he was saying he would enjoy watching his father burn in hell. I then mumbled, "You would be the one to say that." But as always, he didn't understand. He thought I just said I would, like I agreed with him. January 24th, 1994. Boy, what a week it will be in physics next week. On Monday, we will be doing some truck lab where someone will sit in the back of a truck and shoot something into the air. Then Tuesday, we will be playing some game about parabolas or something. The weekend was pretty good. Saturday, we didn't do nothing, but Sunday, we went to the mall and Pat and Dennis were there and we split up. I went with Steve and Mom went with Mary. We went to the bookstore and I read Where to Get Pink Tails in the Frying Pan, which only enables you to get the Sylph spell a little bit sooner. I also learned how to get to Vampire on Mortal Kombat. So then we went to the bowling alley and I got my keyboard back, and Christopher let me borrow the Game Genie, Super Mario All-Stars, and Street Fighter 2. I played Super Mario Bros. 3 on the All-Stars game. I like the background graphics. Well, Algebra's coming up next, so I'm ready for it. February 11th, 1994. Yesterday in AP English 12, we had these pink slips we had to fill out for the yearbook. One of the lines asked for my favorite song, so I put Head Over Heels. It also asked for most often used slang quotes, so I put heck if I know. Then, since I was up, Miss P asked me to take some forms to Miss Ellis and the pink slips to the computer lab, where the yearbook staff was working. They've done taken Jamie out of 4th period the last 2 days in a row now to work on it, and today she'll be gone to beta convention. I did see her this morning, though. Thanks to God, everything worked out fine yesterday. When I left the restroom, I headed for the library, and there were several students walking out, so they must have opened it during lunch. So anyway, I went in and got my books. Thank goodness I had my homework done. Oh, that must have been one of those days where they had the library closed during lunch period. Probably because the librarian had lunch duty or something like that, I don't know. February 17th, 1994. Well, speeches are today. Yesterday and Monday, I bought myself a Twix bar in the afternoon. Those things are good, man. I'm a bit less confident about my speech today because everyone's doing crap like telling their audience about going to the Bahamas or going fishing or some other crap like that. Mine will stick out like a sore thumb or a diamond in the rough. For one thing, mine will be funnier, and Michael Whitlock said it doesn't have to be true. I'm not as excited for algebra today as I usually am, but good things always happen when you least expect it. But now that I said that, I guess that means I'm expecting it, so I won't get it. I'm still in a bad mood, so I'm still not expecting anything, but it'll happen if I don't expect it, which makes me no better as far as my mood. Wow. Even back then, I tell you. February 22nd, 1994. Last night, I started on Christopher's game of Final Fantasy II, and he had Kelly for Rydia's name. He had Chris for Cecil and Nick for Kane. So I changed Rydia to Jamie and Rosa to Jaina. We watched Andy Griffith in Algebra yesterday. One was about how this guy couldn't sing, but he wanted to be with the concert, so he sang solo into a dead microphone while some low-voiced guy backstage sang for him. Jamie wasn't usually watching when I looked over, so I tried to make her think we have something in common by coloring red on the border of my algebra notebook, like I wasn't watching either. The desks in the Spanish room were arranged as they had been during that game we played about a week ago, so it would be cool to play that again, but today I forgot my deodorant again, so I'm afraid to get too close to Jamie. Well, I'll see you later, bye. It happens so often, and every single time I put again in all caps and parentheses. February 28th. A week from Friday is the math tournament. The real math tournament, that is. I'm excited for that. I still haven't found out if Jamie is going. She never did sign up on the board. A lot of neat stuff happened this weekend, but I wanted first to mention something else that happened during the writing conference. During lunch, while I was standing in line at Burger King, Amelia and Samantha Ahern were behind me, and they asked me to turn off the ceiling fan because it was too cold. First of all, I didn't think I had the authority to do that. Secondly, we were going to be out of it in a little while. Third, I didn't think I could jump high enough to get it. But after a little bit of chickening out, but looking like I was denying my physical ability, I figured, hey, it's a request from two girls. You don't get that kind of opportunity just every day. So I jumped for it, and by the grace of God, my grip held through gravity's pull, and the string was pulled far enough that it clicked. The attempt was successful, even if it wasn't all that graceful, so Amelia kept saying thank you and good job and stuff like that. I remember that day, that was cute. So yesterday we were driving through Commerce, and as we were crossing the railroad tracks on that big intersection where it crosses at an angle, and that bank, Jamie Sorrow came driving the other way, but it was too late for her to see me. There was someone with her, I think it was a boy. Suddenly I murmured, oh my god, that was her. They didn't hear me, but my heart was burning like the Olympic torch. I kept thinking about it for the rest of the day. Sunday, Mom started playing Tetris 2 and got to round 40, but couldn't beat it, so I did. How about that? So then later they went bowling, so I stayed home and finished my Water Hands movie. I showed Mary the first 10 frames and she wanted to see more, so instead of watching it Friday, she wants to see it today after school. When they came back, I learned that Steve had bowled a 227. Good heavens, I'm lucky if I bowl half that much. Well, I haven't seen Jamie yet today, but I'm ready for her on the way to economics. I forgot to tell you, but when I saw her in her car from ours in front of Bilo, I was listening to the song I Like So Much by the Bee Gees, so there's a song and its corresponding memory. I assume he's talking about Night Fever there, I don't know. March 8th, 1994. Well, they started playing the Stone Age song. Golly, the bell already? Bye. That's it for that one. That's it for that sheet. March 9th, 1994. In Spanish, we've been working on that bulletin board, and I'd been getting really excited about showing off my elite drawing. But wouldn't you know it, the first thing they asked me to draw is two people holding hands, one smiling, the other frowning. But I hate drawing people. I can draw geometric figures and designs, just about any object, and I can write in calligraphy. But that's the one thing I cannot draw is people, and I could see it before it even happened. I knew it was coming, and they got me started on the people yesterday, but I never did do their heads, so I guess what I'm gonna do today, well, what an abrupt disturbance will blow away my good mood when algebra's over. Shoot, what am I supposed to do when I draw that girl? What is she supposed to wear? A cheerleader uniform? A bikini? I can't make her too fat, because people will be upset that they didn't have a practical Playboy picture on the wall, and if I give her some Dolly Parton body and make her real sexy, the girls will think I'm a pervert. Well, I just realized that today I forgot my deodorant again! But today, this morning, I realized it right before Steve went in there, so I figured I'll get it later. Well, time for physics. See ya. March 12th, 1994. Boy, writing to you at home is no easier than it is in school. Not when there's 5 people there and one of them leads a life so boring that they find joy in rocking kitchen chairs, endlessly staring into a Band-Aid box, reading about neon bandages, and shaking the only table you have to use in the whole house. Well, as you know, today's the math tournament, or was actually. I got 13th place in this one too, just as I did in the first one, so that was kind of cool. Riding the bus around, wandering around the mall, we did all kinds of neat stuff today. Mom took me up there at about 7 in the morning. The bus pulled in front of CHS's front door. Then we all got on the bus and headed up there. I sat in about the 4th seat on the left. Jenny and Corey sat in front of me, and Jeff Fricks sat behind me. But in front of them was Tabor Roberts and Jana Long. I absolutely loved her hair today. Jeff Fricks also asked me on the way up, do you want to get inspired? And he showed me Jana's 9th grade picture, which I recognized because of the great deal of time I've spent looking through last year's yearbook. It was in color. She's catching up with Jamie. Perhaps this wouldn't have happened if Jamie had come, which she didn't. I told God last night in my prayers that it was now or never because it was going to be my last chance in my whole life to do it. So I told him this is my last chance to go out with her. It's now or never. But actually it's not because the literary contest is Friday. I looked backwards to dressing up for that thing. Well, anyway, there were a lot of people at the mall. Many people from the tournament were there. So anyway, I didn't know my way around too well, so I followed Kai, Gary, Tabor, and Kevin. They went to the food area and stood at Wendy's, so just to avoid getting lost, I stood in line with them. And I'll tell you, they had about the ugliest, most stupid-looking picture of Wendy up on that circular thing on the wall. If my memory serves right, she had black lips and crossed eyes. It looked like it was drawn in chalk. Anyway, I got lost at one point, but then when I was passing the escalator, I saw Jeff Fricks coming the other way, so I followed them until it was time to go. First, they went to a sports store, and that's about all we did. Then I saw the fountain there. I knew I had a penny in my pocket, so I decided to make a wish, but I was following the others, and they were moving fast, so I didn't really get to. You can probably guess what I was going to wish for. But anyway, we got back on the bus, and we went to the awards. After countless middle school trophies were handed out, they finally called out the Algebra 1 and all those. But I got 13th, Nicole got an honorable mention, and our team got 3rd overall. Anyway, it was a pretty fun time, but I still wish Jamie could have come. Yeah, of course. They were like always taking her out of class for something, some extracurricular. I might have some rants about that later in this, I'm not sure. I kind of hope so, because I hated it, man. March 22nd, 1994. Well, 1 year now since I made that stupid tape. Last night I got in this super good mood while drawing my dragon again. It started that afternoon yesterday when they asked Jamie if she was going with John, and she said yes. She answered yes also when they asked her if she had her address, so it's official, she's going with John, whoever that is. While last night I told myself, Tim, forget it, she already goes with somebody, stop trying. So then I started thinking, well, she's not going to love me. Well, if you can't get her to love you, just enjoy loving her yourself. So I'm just going to enjoy loving her, and don't worry if she doesn't love me back. She doesn't have to. It would just cause more pressure in my life if I always felt like I had to do something for her or talk to her or whatever. Let's just enjoy loving her. It'll wear off eventually. That's crazy. Alright. March 28th, 1994. Well, the bad times have come back. Oh, have they, though. When Dad said he was coming to get us, I was like, as long as he takes us to Darlene's house, the weekend will be good. Well, he took us there and I got truly excited, but even though I had taken a bath Friday night, I forgot my deodorant on Saturday. Again! So needless to say, he was on me the whole weekend about that. Saturday, he started back up with that. Is there anything you guys want to do today? And things have not changed since January 1992 or whatever, because I could not think of a thing to say. Mom helped us get started by telling him when he arrived in the middle of my Super Scope game that he needed to take us to the library because we've been wanting to go, so that helped. I was looking for books about 80s music, but I couldn't really find anything. My cucka feeling struck at about 1:20, 40 minutes before our 2 hours were up. So I headed for the restroom, but someone was on the john, so I decided to wait. Well, I headed in the other direction, then decided I needed something to read while sitting on the john, so I decided to get that Modern Parables book. Well, I got it and headed for the restroom on the other side of that huge midsection, but it's a good thing I looked at the sign before I went in, for I was now standing solitary at the entrance to the ladies' restroom. Wow. March 29th, 1994. My dang right side is hurting again. I'm tired of sitting in these desks for hours on end in constant pain. I didn't think I was drinking that much Coke. Anyway, yesterday Mary and I listened to my music tape at various speeds with that thing he has over there. On the way to the bowling alley, well, nothing happened on the way, but upon arriving, Steve had a 9 and a spare in the first frame, followed by 2 strikes. While there, he got 4 more for a total of 6. He wound up with a 237 because he opened in the 10th. Well, while I was there, at one point I went into the bathroom to blow my nose, which had been at its absolute worst the whole time. There must be something in the air at Darlene's house that I'm allergic to, because that thing runs hour after hour on end every time I go over there. I remember a commercial that said something about the tissue after tissue issue. My nose passes that test with flying colors. Yep. I sit in the bedroom for hours, for days on end, wearing out tissue after tissue after tissue. My nose could wear out the tree population in no time. April 1st, 1994. Is this going to be an April Fool's joke? Let's see. Guess what? Last night I was listening to some music or something and I heard the phone ring. Mom, who was downstairs, answered it. Then about 5 seconds later, they called me and said it was for me. I could feel the future coming closer and closer because I knew right away, yeah, this is definitely an April Fool's joke. When I picked up the phone, it was just going to be Dad wishing me luck or something. Nothing exciting. Well, I picked up the phone and said hello with all hopes of any miracles as gone as they were ever going to be again. Then the light of the future singed my eyes as the familiar, beautiful voice of Jamie echoed in my ears. She said, "Hey, Timothy," in her bright, ever-so-friendly voice, and I knew right then that every wish I'd ever had for the last 3 months had been granted. Now take a look back up at today's date. Yeah. Oh, well. Guess I called that one, didn't I? April 12th, 1994. We got to watch 12 Angry Men in Law today. I saw it on HBO that time. There was also the time in 9th grade when we came in the middle of his class and watched it. Last night on The Secret of Mana, I beat that spiky tiger and got to the big fire monster, but I never beat him. I landed some 3-digit damage with the ice spell. I got the music in that cave on my mind now. Man, lucky you. Yeah, this was just after I got Secret of Mana for my birthday, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, now I'm in the library for Beta Club. Normally I don't come, but I figured, hey, it's better than sitting in homeroom for 30 minutes trying to jack off, studying my map test while watching the life story of a hummingbird. I started playing basketball in the bathroom this morning again. I got 8 out of 10 one time, but by the time I had thrown 20, I'd only made 12. Anyway, we're heading to physics now. It's just that my books end up in the stupidest places, like the Spanish folder and my Spanish book. How could it be nowhere for 2 days and suddenly appear on the overhead like that? People must be stealing those things, keeping them and moving them around, because I can't ever figure out this stuff. Maybe my book is in the lab, I don't know. I might check today. I'm just ready to get into law and watch 12 Angry Men. I also gotta eat lunch and get some change so I can get a Twix bar. I couldn't even eat a snack yesterday because I didn't have any money. So I just chewed on a cow and played my poker game. Yeah, cow. We had these candies, they were called cows. It's really funny. I started working on my calligraphy message for Miss Farmer. Oh, the bell. Time for physics. Wish me luck. Bye. Whatever happened with me having to draw those people in Spanish? Like, I remember what happened with that. Basically, I did draw people, just did whatever I could, and then they ended up not using them, and they got somebody else to draw the people instead, so... April 14th, 1994. My dagnabbin physics book is still ain't showing up, and now she's given us a worksheet that I probably won't be able to do without the book. Last night on Secret of Mana, I defeated that wall by building Earth Slide to level 1 and using it on the wall. Then I came to this robot that you have to defeat to get the mana seed back. I took it to the Water Palace, but it was invaded, so I gave them the seed, and then there was this dragon that tore us up. Then before I went to the Water Palace, I forgot to save the game, so now I gotta do it again this afternoon. Yesterday, I remembered my poker game, so I played it again yesterday afternoon with Salvador and Cleve. Then on the bus, Cleve took it. Well, that's a crazy name, Cleve. Cleve took it on the way to the middle school and gave it back to me just before I stopped off at our stop. I got the stuff for my speech, but I forgot my calculator again. Nice change up there. Nice day to forget it on the day of a speech and a physics test. April 15th, 1994. This morning, when I got to school, I suddenly felt this urge to poot. but since no one was around, I held the poot so I could break wind where someone could hear it. Well, at about 7:30, no one was around, but I was playing my poker machine and I got a straight flush on it, so I left it up there to show off and haven't touched it since. When I finally cut the cheese, I was inside and some others were outside. I don't know if anyone heard it. I don't know, some story. April 19th, 1994. So last Sunday night on Secret of Mana, I was at, well, I can't remember, you do so much in the game, you know? Well, I made it to the Empire that night and got into the castle. I got stuck in there behind that teleporter that knocks you back. I couldn't do anything there, but yesterday I realized that there's a switch in a wall you gotta hit. Well, Sunday night, after wandering around for a while, I looked up and it was 8 o'clock, so I didn't even have time to make a tape. I was so ticked off that when I stopped playing at 8:45 or whenever, I flicked it off and said to myself, I don't ever want to play this again. Ugh, I have a history of this apparently, don't I? Jeez. I was in that bad of a mood. What was most maddening was that I had used up all my freedom time, not the game so much. Well, yesterday on it, I got to the top of the castle where I had to battle Gestar again. Then the Mushroom King came and gave me the Flammy Drum. But they say in the instructions that you don't get that until real late in your quest. I've only found 4 of the 8 seeds, so I don't think I could be that close to the end. P.S. Hey, I'm back in Spanish and Jamie's not here. She doesn't play tennis. What is it this time? It's Miss Drinker depriving her of her high school education, that's what. If she has to be so involved in everything, why couldn't she be on Haikyuu, or the math tournament, or the GACS math tournament, or the literary meet? Absence is like the wind, it blows away small love, strengthens great love. My love is turning into hate, not at her, but at these infinitely many other burdens that won't stop pulling her away from me. Don't you just love these capital letters? Bye. Yeah, I do love them. Very much. April 21st, 1994. Well, yesterday, since Jamie was gone, I kept thinking it was Friday, since she said she'll be gone Friday. That'll be 3 days this week. Yesterday, the tennis people were gone, and I was confused since she was gone too. Another excused absence in Spanish for her. I think if you're absent, you're absent. You can't afford to miss class 3 days a week. Excuse doesn't have anything to do with education. Plain hooky has the same exact effect on your education. If you're not there, you're not there. And you can't learn if you're not there, even if you are excused. Excused absence? Who the heck made that up? We are talking about a high school education. Didn't you just said this in the last entry? You can't miss 3 days a week and get away with it. I don't care what anyone says. Of course, then again, I'm not worrying about her education, I'm just worried about not being with her myself. Last night on Secret of Mana, I raised the continent and snuck under the castle, then defeated that robot. It was easy. I don't even remember the last thing I did. I bought 2 battle suits for 30,000 GP each. Then after I sold the other stuff, I wound up with 30,010 GP, just enough to buy 1 more for Jamie, the girl in the game. This character in the game is supposed to be in love with Diluc, some other boy. I didn't find out until it was too late. I'd already named her Jamie, then I found out she was going with Diluc. When I met Chrissy, some other girl, Jamie was surprised when she realized Chrissy was a woman. And Sprite, my third character, said jealous, as if Jamie were going to be jealous of Chrissy, because I would like her or something. Well, at one point Diluc turned against her, but then helped her again, so I don't know if Jamie will love me or Diluc at the end of the game. Since I'm so close, I will be finding out pretty soon. Well, bye. April 21st, 1994. I came back today because I got good news. I found my physics book! I'm so joyful! Plus tomorrow's Earth Day, so I get to wear green for extra credit and go out to the ice cream party with my class. Well, I do know she'll be coming, or at least her class will be coming, to the Gwinnett Recycling Center. I think they're coming. Actually, I'm not sure. Yesterday at the bus stop, Brandon started playing my poker game, and he took it on the bus like Cleve did. But he didn't give it back when I got off, so anyway, he gave it back this morning, and he had it up to 315. He told me he had it up to 400, but I believe him too. That boy's awesome, man. Anyway, yesterday we went to the computer lab in algebra to do some problem about a pool filling with hoses at a different rate. And somehow, Jaina Long ended up playing my poker game. I was happy to have that temporary link between us. And then in Spanish we were playing the sofa game? I don't know what that is. But Jamie Sorrow didn't want to play, and here's why. Because she was having too much fun playing my poker game. Yes, Jamie Sorrow played my poker game. Little did she know that she was playing something that once had her name on a piece of tape on it. Oh, right. Okay, so at some point we went and took a bunch of trash up to the recycling center, and we put pieces of tape with our names to indicate which bag belonged to which person. And after we dumped the bags, I saw Jamie's bag, and I stole the piece of tape with her name on it and taped it to the poker game. I don't know how many people saw that, but anyway. April 26th. I'm in Spanish just now. Jamie asked me to let her see my poker game again. Oh, Lord, I love her so much. I was more than willing to give it to her because I love her, and I love to make her happy. I only wish she could know that I love her, so I'm going to have to say something to her when I sign her annual. Boy, I hope I can think of something good. One more thing from last night I forgot to mention, I built some good experience on Secret of Mana last night. In that first room in the final fortress, there's these 2 crabs that you can go in and out and kill for 6,460 experience points each time. At the end, though, you have to fight Flammy, so I'm not feeling so good about fighting him. I don't even know if I'm at the end of the game just to hit him. Oh, and then he goes on talking about how you beat him. I'm not going to read that part, that's boring. I can't believe I read this much of it, actually. April 27th, 1994, I finally conquered the Secret of Mana last night. In the ending, they don't hardly talk at all. They just walk around to all the towns. They just say the Mana Beast is turning to snow at the end, and that's it. The credits immediately follow that. He sounds disappointed. I don't know. I'm at the literary club now, but Jamie's not here. I miss her. She's probably at class. You know, that shicing shice. We also got this stupid senior picture coming up full speed. Well, I'm kind of busy. Let me come back tomorrow. April 27th, 1994. I've only got 30 or so more days of school to write to you, so I may as well write as much as I possibly can while my life is being fun. Yesterday, when Miss P started putting books away, I felt so relieved the class was over. So anyway, we went to Miss Barnett's room. I just played poker the whole time. If I could get a straight flush or something now during physics, I might show it to Jamie on the way to law. I don't know if she'd be interested, but she's been playing it lately, so I bet she'd care somewhat. But if I want to get a royal flush or something, I better work on it now. By the way, Wuthering Heights is due Friday. Today is Wednesday, and I'm only on page 32 out of 308. I can get through it. P.S. Jamie's out today, so much for that. There it is again. Okay. May 2nd, 1994. Well, it's Monday, and all the seniors are up at the church getting their picture taken right now. All except for me, that is. I'm sitting all by myself here in Coach Cash's room where I should be, because they say if you aren't going to be at the church, the only reason for that should be if you don't plan to graduate, then report to first period. Besides, when the seniors come back, I'm going to have to explain to them why I wasn't there. I'm so stressed out about all this. If even one person notices that I'm not there, everyone will know. If they call the roll, everyone will know. So it's not like I'm going to be able to get by without someone finding out. Well, the reason I couldn't go there is because I couldn't drive, and my parents couldn't take me because they had to work, so... I think at some point they actually did say, I'm assuming everyone will be able to get there, and I was too shy to answer. So, yeah. May 5th, 1994. Well, I kind of feel like choking my chicken, but I don't know when I will. David Peters was hanging around in the East Wing this morning, and he asked me why I wasn't at the picture. So I said I didn't really have a way to get there. Oh man, I just heard that our AP exam is going to be at the Presbyterian Church. Why can't they have it at the school? How do they expect you to get there? Jeez. Now I'm worried sick about that. I'm gonna... Oh lord, I don't know what I'll do. Man, I still gotta sign up for that SAT thing. Maybe there's some other way to take it. Dang, why do I have to have so many problems in my life? Plus, I didn't get any lunch money, again, so I'm out of change, again, so I can't get a snack this afternoon, again! I wish I could take pictures of this, so you could see my writing, because, God, it's... May 13th, 1994. Yesterday I showed Kai and them my sequel to my flipbook. Kai and I are getting to be pretty good friends. The softball game is today, they do that every year. I think it was last year that I stood by the cars with that one group of people and I sat watching some of those boys jump over these girls, until Miss Evans came and stopped them. Also in 10th grade, I remember being alone in the gym with that one girl, Mandy Baxter, the one that wears 2 socks on each foot. She was there with her boyfriend and some other weirdo. That was close to the day I got Zelda 3, so that's a good chunk attracting memory. Yesterday at the bus stop, Cleve asked me what's the highest score I ever got on my poker game. Well, I told him 390, and he said he got it up to 350, and then it gives you shit. Anyway, we ought to be getting our annuals pretty soon. That's our yearbooks, by the way. I don't know if anybody else calls them annuals. I hope so, because there's only like 2 or 3 weeks left. Last night on Sonic 2, I got to the last boss, I assume. I couldn't lay a hand on him. So this must be when I borrowed the Genesis from Christopher. That's cool. I've been adding a lot of drops of sweat or blood onto my flipbook, so it's getting pretty violent. It's hilarious. The senior trip is next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so I'll get to be the only senior at school except for Christina, Heather Pope, and Harley, so thank God I won't be the only one in English. I wonder what we're going to do those 3 days. Just now in physics, we went to the library after sitting in her room where Michelle gave me a piece of Mintaverse gum. I sat and watched Gabriel play the piano, and then Myra tried to play that one song that Schroeder plays. At one point she couldn't figure out a chord, and I, just by listening, was able to tell her what chord she needed. So then we started playing it together. We played the song on Big, Myra did the front part, and I did the background. What an experience. Yep. Just now in government, Mr. Drew brought my memo book to me. I hope I had my name on it somewhere, because if he looked on that page and saw Jamie's name written all over it, he probably thought it belonged to her. I bet you anything he took it to her first. So how'd they know it was mine? Simple, a calligraphy message on the next page, saying, "And you think that love is only for the lucky and the strong." Oh no, first period over. Now I gotta pass her. Okay, I'm back in homeroom. I passed some juniors on the way here, but didn't see her. I was stiff, maintaining a tight hold on that sheet of paper in my hand to throw away. Boy, was I nervous. But like I said, perhaps God made me lose it so that Jamie would see it, not that she didn't already know. The funny thing is that I don't remember losing it. Oh well. Yeah, like nowadays, if that happened, I think I probably would have gotten in a lot more trouble, because people would have thought that it meant I was trying to forge her signature, because I was using her signature from the piece of tape that I got off the garbage bag, you know? Oh yeah, last night I finally figured out how to damage Robotnik's huge machine at the end of the game. You gotta wait till right when he lands and bash him in the shoulder. The hard part is getting back out of the way as he recovers from his fall. Hey, I just now realized that song that goes, "I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life," when played in G, does not require any sharp or flat notes. Man, it's hard to read these because they're in pencil and it's faded over the years, let me tell you. May 17th. I'm in a pretty good writing mood today. One more thing from yesterday. This weird boy was in the East Hall in the morning, and he kept pooping too. They all sounded like boir. Then yesterday, none of the juniors were talking to me, so I was wondering further if Jamie had seen my book, and they were mad at me or surprised or disgusted. Yesterday, I showed my flipbook to Alberto and that other boy, and while doing so, I blew a thundercracker. Jeez, what a way to end. I also finally conquered Sonic 2 last night. Yeah, you said that already. Everyone watched the ending. They put all of the music in the game together, but I didn't get to hear it because Wheel of Fortune was on, so I had to turn it off. Man, I hate when that happens. Ugh. Like, there's no point playing the game if you can't hear the music. I've always felt that way. That's why I don't take my Switch out. This is like the same day, May 17th. I just got a straight flush on my poker machine, so I'm not going to play it until Jamie and Ryan would see it. The only way I know of to get Jamie to see it is to show it to the people in algebra outside before algebra class and hope that either they pass it around or she asks to see it. Yesterday when Cleve gave me back the poker machine, he had it up to 235. I managed to keep it up there until Law, where Enria wanted to play it, so I gave it to her and she had it down to 20 when she gave it back. So I'm not giving it to her today. I want Jamie to see that straight flush. May 17th again. 3 times in one day. 3 diaries in one day. I came back in Spanish, which is very unusual for me to do, but I just had to tell you about this. First of all, in algebra, we were talking about who's going on the senior trip, and when they said that Carlos and Jenny and Tanya were the only ones going, I tried to sort of hide behind Efren, but then Jamie said, "Timothy's not going?" She says my name so beautifully, and she's beautiful herself too. Oh, but that's not all. Catch this. Tomorrow we have to do our oral exam, and Jamie's my partner. I was the only one left that didn't have a partner, and somehow she hadn't signed up, so I'm doing it with her, even though I don't have to. I can exempt it. I'm kind of nervous, but hey, God is answering my prayers. I've been wishing so hard and so long. I hope this keeps up. I want to see more of it. I love her. Oh my God, this innocence, I tell you. May 19th, we're getting this close to graduation here, man. Anyway, yesterday I gave my poker machine to Enria, and she took it to Coach Greg's room. As a matter of fact, yesterday morning I had this huge fart. So I ran out of the restroom and cut in front of Coach Greg and detonated. The 2 boys there laughed. Coach Greg said, "Dang, boy!" and something else, I can't remember. I couldn't stop laughing myself. So that's where cut in front and detonated came from. Yesterday in Spanish, Jamie and I had our Spanish conversation. The part where we had to play 2 roles in a certain situation was the best part. First I had to be her father, and she was calling me from school because she was sick. She even said gracias at the end, and I said de nada. I don't remember that one word for word, but I do remember the second one we did. I had to be a student who got an F on his assignment, and she had to be the teacher. It went like this. So basically the translation of what we said was, I said, "What did I do?" And she said, "Your homework is bad." And I said, "I don't have time to do it." She says, "Why?" And I said, "Because I play my Sega too much." May 20th, 1994. Am I going crazy? I mean, I'm just, like, in love with this girl I've never talked to, never done anything with, never given anything to, barely know. How's that possible? Just by watching her, I've fallen in love. I guess it's her personality, too. She's kind of quiet, got a great sense of humor, and never gets mad. Not as far as I know, anyway. Well, yesterday in AP English, I was suddenly inspired to write a poem, so I did that last night. It's called Intercepting an Interception. My family loved it. Also, Jamie's picture was in the paper. They love her, but never will they be able to love her as much as I do. I got the poker machine up to 485 this morning. It started in Spanish when Ryan Wood got a straight flush. Then just before the bus came, I got 4 sevens, so my score really got up there. Well, now we're here watching House Sitter, and my score is now 180. Plus, I forgot my fucking deodorant again! Come on, asswipe! There's only 10 days left to be with Jamie Sorrow, and you can't even remember your deodorant, you stupid fucking dill hole! Wow. I tell ya. May 23rd. Memories. Oh, these precious memories. Being this close to the end of the school year, I'm not only ready to work for money, but also very reluctant to say goodbye to Jamie and the many other friends and memories we've shared since I've learned what true love is. Friday in Spanish was very exciting. It started when Amelia Tiller came asking to borrow my Algebra 2 notebook. Just before Miss Farmer came to get me back, Amelia and I put on this act where she was pretending to holler at me, so I stuck my head in the door window pretending to be tortured. When I moved away, I heard the burst of laughter erupt from inside. Anyway, the other day at fishing, in the last 45 minutes, I listened to the song Mandy about 8 to 10 times in a row. Now I just gotta get that song onto my music tape after I Won't Hold You Back. Mandy by Barry Manilow. Jesus Christ, dude. Well, when we got home, Kay, Mike's wife, was already there, so I sat and played Sonic 2 and finished it. Later, when Pat, Dennis, and Erica came over, I played it again, and Dennis watched me get all 7 Chaos Emeralds and get to the Metropolis. Then later, while I was watching the ending, Dennis saw it and said, "Oh, did you win?" I said, "Yeah, it's about time somebody appreciated my skill." No, actually, Mom congratulated me the first time I beat it, since that was right before we were about to eat supper. Later, Erica and Mary watched Dirty Dancing. That's better than I thought it would be. It actually has a plot. May 26, 1994. While searching for Emotion, the song, I've also been trying to decide whether or not to put ELO's Turn to Stone on my tape. I think he's talking about that, in the words of a broken heart, it's just emotion that's taking me over. It's like, I swear it sounds like the Bee Gees, but I don't think... But I saw it in a commercial once and they said it was by Samantha Sang. To this day, I have no idea. Absolutely nada has happened between me and Jamie this week. I only got 3 days left, so something better happen pretty soon. Well, I'm still trying to get a royal flush on this poker machine, and I just taught Efren that song that Myra and some others play. Last night I took a bath for the 3rd night in a row. Man, I don't feel like riding. I suppose you can tell. Yesterday at the bus stop, I got to watch Jamie as she was walking out to her Jeep. But the time she was looking at me, she was too far away, and when she got within my range, Kevin Garrison comes driving up. He waved to her instead, and she waved back without smiling. Sometimes I wonder if I'm causing trouble because she has been sort of quiet since she found out. Well, I'm bored majorly. Maybe we can go to the computer lab while Tanya takes her exam. I don't know if anyone else has to take it. Bye. May 27th. I just got a royal flush on my poker machine in homeroom this morning. Gosh, I only had 15 points then, so now I got 3,015. I cannot emphasize enough how exciting this is. Tonight is the sports banquet, so that's going to be something to dread. We got our annuals yesterday. So far, I've gotten Myra, Heather Crane, Cindy Langford, and Michelle Dickerson to sign mine. Maybe I can get Jamie to an algebra or Spanish. I sure hope so. I hate it when I don't feel like writing when something good is happening, but I gotta force myself to pump these memories into the future. In the hall, I held onto my poker machine as tight as I could. I showed Efren and Jason my royal flush in the hall on the way to law. Part of this page is torn off, so I can't read all. I'll read what's there. I hope we go to the lab again today. I'm really ing off with Tetris yesterday, and I think actually that something Brown was watching at one point. Well, Enria has asked twice to see the poker game, and off. Good for me. I'll try to let you know how the situation goes with Jamie. I haven't seen that copy of my poem from Miss Davis's room, and no one has said anything or nothing. So either someone found it and kept it, or someone found it and threw it away. May 30th, 1994. Well, this is it. Today's my last day. The last chance to get Jamie to sign my yearbook and possibly to get her to let me sign hers. Today is honors day, so we gotta go to the gym. I'm gonna have to walk up there for some stuff, so I better be sure and sit on the bottom bleacher area. Maybe I'll sit with Efren and Jason if I can find them. The sports banquet was last Friday. We walked up there from our house. Later, Jeff came and we basically played poker together the whole time. I got called up a lot and had to collect a bunch of stuff. We also got some pictures taken there. Jamie was 2 tables up along the front, so I stared at her when things got slow. Once Jeff wrote on the program, "This is boring." Also, Mary and I wrote notes back and forth. Today I forgot my poker machine, so I'm really gonna get bored, but at least I remembered my deodorant. Well, now honors day is now over, and there was a point where I was walking close to Jamie and she was staring at me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to ask Jamie to sign mine. She knows what I'm up to. I almost told Efren about it, but Friday, after writing in his yearbook that I'm going through the same thing, he followed by asking, "Who is it?" All I let out was that she was not a freshman. Oh, I'm so scared. Golly, I'm never going to be able to get her to sign it. I don't know what I'm going to do. One more day and this is it. This is the day I'll remember forever. I just have to do it. This love is worth something now. I can't pull it out on her. The only way I think I can make myself go up to her and ask her is if I visualize the years of toil, crying, and regret that will utterly break up and slowly destroy me over the course of the next few decades. All I have to do to avoid the eternal torture is just ask her to sign it. Now, is that torture? No, it's a dream. But I'm so scared of her. What will she think? What can she say? She knows I love her. What can she do? She knows that she'd be letting me down if she didn't write something to me. I just don't know that I have the guts to put that kind of pressure on her. Is it worth it to put pressure on her just so I can have something to remember her by? Or will my guilt burn me and prevent my possible declaration of love? That's the real catch. Even if I ask her to sign my yearbook, it doesn't mean she'll get me to sign hers. I think I'm driving her crazy. What if she's mad at me? Aha! Now that's the question I'm asking myself. That's what's preventing me from going up to her desk and saying, would you sign mine? I wish I could think of something slick to say, but that's why I'm scared to ask her. What if she's mad at me? I find it hard to imagine her being mad at anyone. There's still the likely chance that I won't get to sign it, though, you know? Well, I prayed to God last night and told him that love is not some worthless bauble that one just throws away and forgets about. Love is God's greatest gift, and I have a lot of it. If it means anything at all, it ought to mean I have an incentive to overcome my fear and get her to sign it. If God is willing to give us that great gift, he's certainly going to let me do something with it besides watch it die. That's what he did with all the others, but this is different, or is it? Yesterday, as Jamie was driving home, she saw me out of the bus stop holding my poker game and staring out at a distant point on the ground, but not high enough to see that it was her Jeep driving by, and she saw me as I flipped the I love you sign leaving the sports banquet, you know? She saw me at the bus stop with my sad eyes that day. She's gotta feel guilty, bless her heart. But she's happy now, so I just gotta let go. My days are numbered, and this is my last one. Duh, I'm getting repetitive, huh? Well, in the words of a broken heart, it's just emotion that's taking me over, tied up in sorrow. Jamie sorrow, that is. How ironic, huh? I just hope that all goes well around here. I'm just scared, that's all. Scared of Jamie sorrow. It sounds horrible, but that's what it is. I've thrown so many hints now that perhaps she thinks I'm trying to make her feel guilty. I guess I actually am, but what I'm also trying to do is show her how much I really love her. That takes more than sad eyes and 3-act plays in Spanish class. It takes a sweet note and some solid proof that I'll protect her. I did that a little bit in Spanish, so that's a start. But with so little time left, I'm afraid it's too late. There's nothing I can do. I'm flat out of time, except for the light at the end of the tunnel. This has got to work. Nothing else will. I need to know that she has said something to me, even if it's only one line, even if it's 3 words, because some people can say a lot with 3 words. Well, I can't believe I've rambled on this long. Who knows if this writing will be printed in papers in years to come, if I die or if I become famous. If only you knew, dude. Everyone will know me, everyone will see Jamie, and world peace may follow, and John Allen would be the angriest son of a gun in the whole Western Hemisphere. Golly, I'm going crazy here. It's like I've been using cocaine or something. Oh well. Poor Jamie. Golly, she's so cute, so smart, so funny, so fine, so sweet, so everything, so perfect. And I'm destroying her in a lava pool of guilt. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Well, really, I haven't said much. Well, we're finishing Baby M in law, so let me watch it. Bye. Huh. Okay, and this is later that same day. Ugh. Well, here I am at lunch period. Algebra is next, and my stomach is turning. It just won't stop. It's like I'm getting on a roller coaster and we're climbing up the hill. I'm really scared. Scared of silence. I've never been so scared of silence before. Silence between me and Jamie. Well, the piano dudes are here, so I might play with them, but Jamie's on my mind and I can't clear it up. Oh well. I guess I've said everything I want to say. My love isn't wasted yet. I've got one chance to go, and this is it. The next 2 hours could change the next 2 decades, but I'm afraid it won't mean anything in 2 weeks. The next entry after this is 9 days later. After graduation, after everything. So I honestly don't know why I didn't write anything else. I did make a tape, like on June 1st, and that's like the last tape I haven't put up. That was supposed to be like the next tape, if I kept putting the tapes up over on Breaking NCS, but... You see, this next entry doesn't even say anything about it. It's June 8th, and it says, I guess I can tell you about our trip to the lake house. I mean, to make a long story short, I never did get her to sign my annual. I just couldn't get the gumption up to go ask her to do it. And forever, I'll always wonder what she would have said if I had her sign it, but... yeah. Wow, I'd love to, like, be all upbeat and say, oh, yeah, there you go, there's the 1994 journals, but I'm kind of depressed after reading that. Jeez, man.